thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm here with Sister Marie Lom. And Sister Marie, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do at the Mother House?
Okay, right now I'm living at St. Francis Convent, which is on the campus, same campus as the Mother House, same campus as Holy Family College. This is a house with about 33 sisters right now, and I am coordinating all the activities of one wing of the house, which is called the House of Prayer. So in the House of Prayer, we have 7 bedrooms waiting for people who want to spend a day, an evening, a weekend, a week for retreat. People come for spiritual direction. And we also do some programming, such as in early February, we're doing some candlelight evenings for right before Valentine's Day to talk about love and also to have adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. So my background is in applied spirituality, and I'm putting that, I think, to good use here at the House of Prayer.
Wonderful. Yes, your retreats are always so, they just fill you with the Holy Spirit. They're really great and impactful. And you recently wrote an article called Through Him, With Him, and In Him. And I've read it a little, I read it, and every time I read it, I gain something really spiritual about it. Like it's a short article, but it's really profound. Do you want to share what inspired you to write this article?
I think it was Sister Julianne Sheehan, our vocation director, who wanted something on discernment. And as I was praying one day over the concept of discernment, and I believe I was at Mass when this was happening, or it happened outside of Mass, I'm not quite sure, but the doxology in the Eucharistic prayer where Father says, through Him, with Him, and in Him, through the power of the Holy Spirit, and those words just stuck with me. So the name of the article is Through Him, With Him, and in Him, and it's sort of a map for discernment.
Yeah. Do you want to go through a little bit of what your article discusses?
I can do that, yes. First of all, the concept or the word discernment seems to be very popular in today's young Catholic culture, maybe in other faith traditions too, but I know for sure in the Catholic tradition. And it seems to be tossed around quite freely. And so I wanted to sort of pin it down as to my understanding of discernment. So I start out by saying it's not for the faint-hearted. Discernment is not something we enter lightly. It is something that takes work. And so it's not a choice between good and evil, because that choice, for those of us serious about the spiritual life, the choice between good and evil is pretty obvious. Discernment is a choice between two things that are good. So we might say, I'm discerning if God is calling me to religious life, or if God is calling me to married life, or if God is calling me to the single life. So it's a discernment of good options and trying to see, how am I made? How did God make me? What would best fulfill God's plan for me? So that's the general concept of discernment. And it's not for the faint-hearted, because it's difficult. When we enter into discernment, we try to leave behind our own personal preferences, our own personal biases and prejudices, and we try to enter in seriously as to what God may be calling us to do. So the first thing I talk about is through Him. So the discernment begins with an inspiration. We feel a nudge, a call, someone says something to us, we read something, we see an article, we see a posting where God seems to be calling me to at least enter into some kind of discernment, some kind of choice making. So the call is initiated by God, and sometimes it's quite surprising to people. I've had some young women say, I never ever intended to join a religious community. I wasn't even thinking about religious life, but I felt this nudge and I felt this call. And usually God does not boom God's voice out of the heavens, but works through articles, people, that type of thing. And some people have even said that they tried to push that urging aside, well, I really don't want to join religious life. I really have a good life the way it is. I'm happy with my life. But God doesn't give up. There's that constant returning to this. So I've met people who have thought about religious life for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and then at some point they seem to have the grace and the courage to really enter into discernment. So we do that in the atmosphere of Christ. That's why I say through him. It's not just deciding which a dog I want to buy, but we're doing this about a life situation, or we might be doing it about a work situation, but it's something quite serious. And in making, first of all, a life commitment, but sometimes along the way, we discern other things besides our life commitment. The next part is with him. So when someone tells me they're discerning, I say, with whom? We can't just discern in our head and make this into a mind game. Who is helping you discern? Discernment is a communal process. We don't just do it with me and God, or maybe me and my spiritual director, because when we're discerning, we value the opinions and the insights of other people who love us.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents, a mentor, a teacher, family, friends, clergy. And in this process of doing it with other people, we may find out some challenging things about ourselves. We may find out we have a very bright and beautiful side, and we may have some of a dark and sinful side too. And sometimes people are very honest with us, saying, well, if you're going, either you're going to be married or you're going to be in a religious life, you have to give up some of your own ideas, your own ways, your own idiosyncrasies if you're really going to enter in a relationship with another person or in a community. So it can be challenging. The person in discernment would be encouraged to read, to pray, to study, to interview people. And in our community, we offer discernment retreats where a young woman can come and live with us for a weekend. Some come before a retreat and they stay for a whole week, or they stay for a week after a weekend discernment retreat. We offer many opportunities for women to come and see what our life is like, see if it fits. And most of the women who stay with us, who have made a longer commitment to us, not just a weekend, but stay, join our postulancy or whatever, they'll say, when I walked in, I felt at home.
Mm-hmm.
Even for people who had never been here before,
Yeah.
I walked in and I thought, I'm home. There's peace here for me. So there are all kinds of signs we look for in discernment. So those are the first 2 points, in, through him, and with him. Now I have a little bit more on in him, but I want to see, do you have any questions up to this point?
No, that's actually a really great introduction to the article. And actually, shout out to Hilda. Hilda sent us a comment saying, where can this article be found? And this article will be posted on our website. So keep checking our website. We should have it in the next day or so. So we'll have the full article plus this video along with it. So thank you so much, Hilda, for your comments. And Sister Anne-Marie, are there any retreats coming up that you'd like people to know about?
Yes, there are several retreats coming up this spring and early summer. You will find those also on our webpage. I won't go through all of those dates and times now, but like you said, the article will be on our webpage. So are the discernment retreats. And you look under Franciscan Sisters of Christian Charity. We have a beautiful website. There are many options to explore your own life, to explore the gospel every weekend. We have a site there to find out what our sisters do, where they're ministering, what their life is like in Arizona and Ohio and Nebraska, Michigan. So it's very broad in giving you information. Also, right now you're on our Facebook page, and that's a way to get a less formal and very frequent update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sister Julianne is very active on making sure we have content every day. So it's definitely keep checking out our Facebook as far as what we're doing or what we're offering or things like that. So thank you so much to everyone who watched this interview. And thank you so much, Sister Anne-Marie, for speaking today. Your insights are always so valuable. So thank you.
You are most welcome. Thank you to all the viewers who tuned in or who will watch this at a later time. My pleasure.
Yes. May God's blessings be with all of you. Bye.
Goodbye.